Can you hear that? Day 1 today. I've got an afternoon tea time, so I've got lots of time. My hair is up in a bun because it's about to be flying all over based on the wind. It's gonna be a windy day, but it's back to competing. I'm super excited. Just gonna go out there and try to have fun and hit one shot at a time. See where it takes me. It is like 7 degrees. This is really cold for me. Alright guys, tournament is over for me. I just took a shower. I got back from my third round, hit some balls at the range, tried to figure out some stuff, and then came back, took a shower, and now I'm talking to you guys. So I know you guys kind of want to know what happened and like how I felt and what I did and stuff like that. And also thank you so much for all of you guys who have been like messaging me throughout this and like been commenting on my YouTube and stuff, just like giving me words of encouragement. And also to you guys that came out and watched me play, that just makes me so happy because it's like I love when people watch me play. So it's really nice that especially when you guys drove a distance to come and watch me play. So yeah, it really means a lot to me. But yeah, so let's just get down to it. If you guys didn't know, I obviously did not have a very good start to this tournament. The first day I shot 9 over, the second day I shot 8 over, and today I shot even par. So really what the difference was between the first, second, and third day. So I'm just gonna go straight into it. The first day, it was probably one of the strongest winds that I've played in 2 years. It was like 30 miles per hour, and I know you guys all want to know what happened on 17, so I'm going to tell you what happened. So that day there was a lot of wind, and one of the things that we don't get to practice in Malaysia is wind. So it's not really something that I could have prepared for, and it's just something that takes getting used to. So I was just not used to it. I couldn't judge how far my clubs were going. So I started off with a couple bogeys as well because I was hitting, I would have 90 yards, I would hit a 58-degree wedge and fly the green by 10 yards. So, and then I would have, the wind was switching. So it would be like downwind into the wind, and then I couldn't really judge. And, sometimes it was a 3-club wind, sometimes it was a 1-club wind, sometimes it was like, I felt like it was a 4-club or 5-club wind because of how strong it was into us. And obviously when you have to carry certain things, you have to take more as well, like water hazards or bunkers and stuff like that. So it was just a little bit more of like adjustment because I couldn't really judge the distances very well with the first round with the wind blowing that hard. So I felt like even with that, I felt like I still could have made a pretty good score if my short game was better. I also was not really able to judge the putting with the wind because when it is that windy, the putting gets affected as well. So it was a little bit hard for me to trust the line because on the first few holes, when I thought it was a certain way, the wind would like push it offline. So then I kind of started doubting my line because I was thinking like, how much should I take versus how much should I compensate for the wind? So it's not very good, especially when you start doubting your putts. You just kind of aren't really sure, and you're not going to make a lot of putts if that's the case. So as you guys saw, I made quite a couple bogeys. I think I played 41 on the front 9, so I made just a couple bogeys. I also hit into the water on one of the par 3s, so that's why I made a double there. So I think if I'm not mistaken, I made 1 double and 3 bogeys on the front. And then I started a 10 hole and actually made an eagle. So I had a really good eagle. It was like 152 yards to a front pin. So, and it was like straight dead into the wind. So it was like a 3-club wind. So I ended up hitting a 5-iron, landed it perfectly, and I could not actually see the ball go in the hole, but I saw it land perfectly. And then I walked up there, and one of the guys that was watching, the spectators, was like, "You went the hole." So that was a super nice bonus for me. And I think I was doing pretty okay until the 17. So this is what happened at the 17. So just a little brief insight into what the hole looks like. I mean, you can even go online and look up if you're really that interested. But hole 17 basically is a par 4. It's playing pretty long. I think we were playing it about 420 yards. So 420, 430 yards, I think. So basically at about 150 yards to the green, to the front of the green, there's a water hazard that runs through the fairway, and down the right side, there's a water hazard down the entire right side. So you need to tee off with something to the water hazard. Is about 300 yards, 290, 300 yards. Because the group in front of us was there, so we could shoot them to see how far it was. So it was about 295 yards from where we were, and it was downwind, but there is also another water hazard after the tee box, so it's about 178 to carry that water hazard. So you need to hit it between the proximity of something that goes further than 178 but shorter than 300 or 290 to be safe. I decided to go with 5 wood. My 5 wood carries on a regular about 200. So I was thinking 200, I still have like 90 yards to go. That should be safe. And obviously I needed something that's going to 100% carry the front water hazard, because I didn't want to go in that water hazard. So I thought 200, that's a lot of leeway. Yep, I hit my 5 wood, 300 yards into the water hazard. So after that, I took a dropped my ball into another hole. So ended up hitting in the water hazard again. So from there, I had to hit from the same spot again. So I was playing 5. So yeah, I was playing 5, and then around the greens was not easy as well, because the entire green is like sloping from the back to the front. So when you hit it over, it's really difficult to chip. So yeah, it just was not an easy hole. So made it 8 on the first day. So that was a big majority of the score, I feel like, on the first day, because I think I was doing pretty okay until that. I did miss quite a few birdies as well. But, you know, with the first day conditions, I don't think I would have been that bad without that 8. But yeah, that was round 1. Round 1 mostly was because of the wind. So let's move on to round 2. Round 2 was a little bit different. I think round 2 was more of like short game and just getting into some bad spots. Like also with the first day, it was very easy for your ball. You would think that it's great to be hitting like 320 yard drives, but then you would end up running out of fairway and behind trees. So the trees are all dead, so they're like sticks. So when you are hitting it long, you end up having something short into the green. And when you have something short into the green, it tends to go up higher, right? So like for instance, if you're hitting a 58 degree, the ball will go up pretty high, pretty quick. So it's very difficult for the first day when you end up running out of fairway, even though you hit a good shot and now you're behind a tree. And you can't really hit like a 58 degree wedge, because you're definitely going to hit the tree in front of you. And for the second day, the wind completely changed. So everything that was happening on the first day, it was the complete opposite. So on the holes that were short, they ended up getting really long. There was a few holes that I just was too far off, and I wasn't hitting, my ball striking wasn't 100%. So I wasn't hitting like super good shots. But I still left myself, I feel like, opportunities. I was still around the green, even though it was a long ways. Obviously, I was not going to hit it as close because it's long ways to the green. Because we are playing some holes which were like over like 390 to 380 to 420 yards, which into the wind is pretty long. So yeah, I was hitting some like 5 irons into the greens, and because it's not so easy to like judge whether it's going to go over or stuff like that as well. You had to make sure that you had the right club and you left yourself in a good position, because chipping around the greens can be tricky as well, depending on where you are. And yeah, I think on the second day, I just made a lot of bogeys because my short game wasn't good, because that is one of my strong points. So I felt like I gave myself a lot of opportunity to make the pars. It's just that I would hit out of a bunker, pretty difficult bunker, because the bunkers here also, okay, I'll talk about that later, but I would hit out of a bunker, and then from the bunker I would miss like a 2 feet putt. So yeah, I think not having your short game obviously that's why I just made a lot of bogeys on the second day. But yeah, also what I wanted to say was, it also took me a while to get used to the bunkers. On the first day, I had 2 shots in the bunker that I completely I thought I hit a good shot, but it completely didn't even touch the green, because like it flew so far, because the bunkers here are like rocks. So usually, at home, I open the face, I try to get low on it and take a lot of sand. Here, even if you take a lot of sand, you can't play with an open face, because it's just going to come out really hot. So I had to learn that. So yeah, and then I mean, okay, just to make things short, first day was a little bit of wind conditions and just yeah, just not really having the right plan. And second day was short game, and today I think I played a decent round. I still had some mistakes, like the first hole I 3-putted for a bogey, and the last hole I missed a 4-foot putt for birdie, and I made some mistakes in between as well, like missed some short putts like inside 6 feet as well. So I feel like I could have played better, but obviously it was a lot better today. And what I'm taking away from this competition is that, number one, obviously I think I do need to get used to playing in the wind, which is, as I said, no matter what I did at home, that was not something that I could do because it just doesn't really get that windy in Malaysia. Number two, I kind of had to change my chipping style. So if you guys have been keeping up the vlogs, you guys would have known that I said that I would have to hit more bump and runs here versus, you know, my normal like flop kind of shots with the open face. So that was a little bit of adjustment as well. Number three, I actually felt like I did not have enough practice on the golf course before the round, because my practice round was pretty still, like the conditions were pretty still. So it was like for instance, hole 17, I think I just did not have a plan for that hole, because on the practice round I hit a driver and I was like 30 yards from the water, but I was thinking, okay, if it's downwind, I definitely should not be hitting a driver. But I did not even think that, you know, it would come to the point that a 5-wood would go in the water. So I feel like hole 17, I just did not have a plan. On the second day as well, like they moved the tee box forward and I just did not really know how far I needed to hit it. So I felt like before this tournament, I had 2 practice rounds. I played 1 18 holes and 1 9 holes. So because I only played the back 9 once, and the back 9 was actually the tougher 9, because we went off the first tee every day, I felt like I didn't have a good enough plan. And obviously I didn't know that the back 9 here was more difficult. But yeah, I just did not have a good enough plan for certain holes on this golf course. And also just learning how to play with this much run out, because you need to know where to land the ball so that it doesn't run out of fairway. You know, when you hit a good shot and you end up running out of fairway and behind a tree, that is not ideal. So yeah, I think there is a lot of things that, like you guys obviously just heard, there was obviously a lot of room for improvement, but I also saw a lot of good stuff. I made 2 eagles this tournament, so that was nice. And I also gave myself a lot of eagle opportunities. Actually, it's just that my short game wasn't up to the standard that I would like it to be. So, you know, from eagle opportunity, I only made a par, which I lost quite a few strokes there. So I feel like my ball striking was not 100%, but it was there enough if my short game had been what it normally is. But also taking into consideration that I have been changing my chipping style just to adapt to the conditions here. So yeah, I think overall I'm not too upset about the tournament. I mean, I would have loved to have done well, obviously, but I think there's just a lot of factors that I need to give myself also that leeway and understand that I do need to adjust to different conditions. And you know, it's different playing here in the States. It's really cold in the morning, and it was like less than 10 degrees, so I was literally freezing, and I was wearing like an innerwear and 2 jackets. So that was about as many jackets as I could wear to still be able to swing. So that is something as well that I cannot practice at home. Like, there's just conditions that I'm not going to be able to simulate no matter how hard I practice for tournaments. And that's why I said, like, it's important to get yourself in tournaments. Nothing really replaces that, you know, that environment that's surrounding you. Can't do that, you know. So yeah, anyway, I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Like, this is why I really wanted to get back to tournament, and this is why, and you know, it's been, my last overseas tournament was January 2020, so it's been almost like 1 year and 4 months since I've played. So it's also like getting back into the tournament mode, and I'm very happy just to be here playing, and that's obviously thanks to a lot of you guys. So, and you know, just the overwhelming amount of support, really, like, it just makes me so happy and so grateful to have all of you guys. That, you know, even when I don't play very well, I realize that, you know, I'm here in the US and I'm here playing golf, so I could still be at home stressing out about not being able to compete. now I've competed, now I know what I need to work on, now I can see parts of my game that I need to improve, parts of my game that are good. So, and parts of my game that I've been working on that I'm seeing progress in. So that's very nice. And yeah, I hope you guys keep following me around, and I'm looking forward to the next event. Yeah, and I hope you guys stay tuned for more. And once again, thank you very much, because you guys made this happen. And it's pretty surreal still, to think when I wake up, I'm in Texas. So this is really a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I hope you guys know that I'm really going to use it to the best of my ability. I'm gonna use all my time wisely, use every resource wisely, and just have a good time here. So I hope to meet more of you guys along my way, and thank you guys so much again for all the support, and I'm really, really grateful. And stay tuned for more Golf with Jen.